I fear this channel has gotten away from me. I've lost the plot. Today, I want to talk about quantity versus quality when it comes to making art, making content, what have you. I think that this is a struggle that most artists, creatives, content creators, influencers struggle with because, the algorithm demands it be fed. It is ravenous. It is just a bottomless pit, constantly hungry for more, 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 more. Yum, 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 yum. But we as humans are finite. I think that we have infinite possibilities, but our energy, our time, our motivation, our drive is limited by our fallible human bodies. Up until this point, I have been posting twice a week on this channel, and there's a reason for that. I've talked about this a little bit, but I'll tell it again here because it's relevant. Um, I struggle with perfectionism big time, and the way that I was able to get out of my own way to start posting on this channel consistently was to adopt a quantity over quality mindset. My thought process was that the faster I can build a body of work, the less pressure each piece of content has to be perfect, right? So I've been posting twice a week, as I said, and I stand by that decision. I think that that was a really good move for me in the first 6 months of this channel to build up my muscle of creating content and posting it. Create more content, post it. Create more content, post it. And now that I'm almost 6 months into this channel, I'm ready to start prioritizing quality over the quantity. I made a community post earlier this week on Wednesday, which is normally when I post, as well as today, Sundays. And I promised you a video this weekend, and I kind of regret making that promise, and I'll tell you why. Since I decided to go down to once a week, which I put in my community post, um, I made this decision so that I would have more capacity to give you, the viewer, quality. I really want to be honoring your time and attention whenever you click on a video of mine. And that means that I need more time to really sit with what I'm going to say and make sure that what I'm saying is going to be helpful to you, that it's going to land with you, that I'm saying what I mean to say. And, I've been in a very reflective mood this week, and I realized that as much as I love to yap, which is why I decided to start a YouTube channel because I love to yap and I have a lot to say, I also love to write. And I find that I am a verbal processor when it comes to emotional things, feelings, maybe even like social situations. But when it comes to uh, laying out my stances on things or coming up with like tips and tricks or reflective questions for you or anything that would deliver you value, I do that best through writing. So, I guess this is the part of the video where I announce to you that I'm going to be starting a Substack newsletter. And there's a couple reasons for this. I think that I still want to be able to connect with you twice a week, even though I'm going down to one video per week. By being able to send out a weekly newsletter, that still gives me two opportunities to chat with you. It also means that, like, you can experience my thoughts in whatever format works better for you. If you prefer to receive the information that is coming through me via YouTube, I will still be here. But if you are maybe trying to cut down on your screen time or trying to cut down on your YouTube time or whatever, and it's better for you to experience it in writing via a newsletter where you have less algorithmic pressure, or maybe like you want to get videos from me, but YouTube is notoriously not great at notifying you when people you want to watch post. Doing that through email or through Substack will probably be a better option for you. um, so that's like reason number one, to be able to give you kind of more choices for how we connect. But number two is that it helps me work more efficiently. So if I am giving myself a workflow that is writing first, then I can just go ahead and post that writing as a newsletter. And then later in the week, talk about what I wrote about. And boom, there's a video. And I've not, like, I'm working smarter, not harder. And yeah, who doesn't want that, right? Like, um, going back to what I said earlier about how I felt sort of resentful of the promise that I made to you to post this weekend. Um, Another piece of my reflectivity this week has been a sort of come to goddess moment, reminding myself why it is that I am even doing this in the first place. And a big reason why I am here on the internet trying to be successful on the internet is so that I can be successful on my own terms, not on the terms of a boss, not on the terms of a boss, and definitely not on the terms of the algorithm. So I think a big piece of why I've been putting pressure seems like it's putting it heavily. I don't know if I would say it's like pressure, but an expectation on myself to post twice a week is because I have this, like, subscriber goal. I've been trying to work towards getting this channel monetized by the end of the year. I have like financial goals that I'm working towards, and I really want YouTube to be a part of that portfolio of how I earn money this year. And I've been like working towards pushing myself to get this channel monetized by the time school starts in fucking August, and it's June. And I just like, this is not the energy that I want to be bringing to this part of my career. I made an agreement with myself at the beginning of this year when I started this channel that I was going to make 100 videos this year. And I think my channel has almost 100 videos. A lot of those are shorts from last year. And I don't know if I necessarily want to count shorts towards that total, but that's a tangent for another day. My commitment was stick with it for a year, post 100 videos, and then we'll like circle back and see if this is something that I want to continue. If the channel is not monetized, if I haven't seen the success that I'm expecting to see in that time, then that's the point where I get to make a decision if I want to keep going. But up until that point, I have to keep going. And now that I'm almost 6 months into doing this, I feel very certain that like this is absolutely part of my long-term path. I feel certain that I will see success here on YouTube or on the internet in general. And so knowing that like in my bones, I can take my foot off the gas a little bit. I can slow down. I can choose to, instead of like buckling down and locking in and not enjoying my summer break, I can take a step back, unclench a little bit, and savor this moment, savor this phase in my career, savor being a creative on my own terms. And I mean, like, if I had a counseling client come to me with this issue of like feeling, I mean, I won't say I feel burnt out, but like feeling all this like pressure, I would ask them like, what's the hurry? And I think for a lot of people who decide to pursue the internet as a career, whether they're artists or something else, whatever reason, I think a lot of the times we are running away from financial insecurity, that it can feel like, oh, social media is going to be my ticket out of poverty. And I'm suffering right now with my lack of money. And so I need to hurry up and get an audience so that I can start making money and I can stop suffering. But like, I'm not suffering, you know? I'm not suffering. I don't need to run from anything. you know like I'm having a ton of fun. I am living the lifestyle that I want to live. I'm here in this beautiful park near my home, enjoying this really weird June weather. It's like overcast and gray but still hot. I'm kind of sweating. um Making content, talking about stuff that matters to me. And when I'm done here, I'm gonna go get paid to hang out with some cats because I'm a pet sitter by day and night, I suppose. um And then in the fall, I'm going to go back to school in this program that I worked really hard to be allowed to join. And this is something else that kind of popped up for me as well, that like with school, whenever I would start to get stressed out this past semester, I would remind myself that like I don't have to do any of this. I get to do it. you know Not only do I get to do it, but like I jumped through a lot of hoops to be allowed to write these papers. So let me like try to enjoy the process of writing them as much as possible. And that's sort of where I'm at with making this YouTube and my Substack and my online presence, my personal brand, to just like, yeah, enjoy it. I don't have to do this. I get to do this. And like, how lucky am I to be allowed, able, like physically able to do this, not just like physically able to walk to this park. And I'm always thinking about how wonderful it is to be able bodied and enjoying that experience while I can, because if I get the luxury of living to old age, I will also experience disability, right? Another tangent for another video. But um the fact that I incarnated in this point in history where we're in the like wild west of the internet, and there's just so much possibility. We have all of human knowledge and then some in these little black rectangles that live in our pockets. And I think that, as many problems as that causes, I think it's also very much a gift, a blessing, an adventure. Like how cool, how cool that I get to sit here in this park and talk to my little rectangle, and I'm going to post it into this like new dimension that we have tapped into. And then my likeness is going to find you, and we're going to connect without having to connect in person. We don't have to like arrange to meet each other. Anyway, but yeah, trying to slow down, savor this point in my journey, enjoy it, and stop placing pressure on myself to get to my destination by a certain point. Like, I'll get there when I get there, and I'm gonna get there. And I don't want to betray myself in the process of getting there. I want to enjoy the journey just as much as I enjoy the destination. So, um, yeah, with that in mind, I will not promise you another video at any, like, by any specific deadline, because I don't want to feel like I'm playing catch up with these videos while I build out my new workflow with Substack. Um, I want to be able to focus, like really focus my energy on building that new workflow and getting it feeling really comfortable before I kind of relaunch the 2.0 version of this channel and the stuff that I'm putting out here on the internet. So yeah, the next time you hear from me, I will be announcing my Substack. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that if you want to be here for the announcement, because otherwise you will never know. And you might want to hit the bell icon as well, because YouTube. Yeah, so there's the video. Okay. I hope you are able to get outside and enjoy whatever weather you're in. And I will see you when I see you, which will be at some point in the near future. I'm just not sure exactly when. So, Peace out. See you later.